All right. I gotta see if it's going, because I still gotta get the hang of this. All right. Yeah. Okay. We should be live, ladies and gentlemen. This is my truck series podcast per se. I work at 3 today, so I wouldn't have time to record it, make a video, then upload it. It'd probably only be up for like 2 hours. No one would watch it. Figured I would just throw it up there right now. I'll probably still make an Xfinity video. I'll just record it tonight, upload it, or I'll record it before I go to work. I'll upload it tonight, and we'll deal with it from there. But basically, this is just going to be a live version of my show. It should be around 15 minutes. You know, it's a truck series, not that too much. Guys, it is Bristol this weekend. Focusing on the Bristol Truck Series race. Let me make sure. You're going to hear a terrible echo. We got 2 people watching. Okay, yeah, okay. Audio's coming through fine. A lot of this race is, at least for like the back markers that you're going to focus on, it's a lot of sponsorships. It's a lot of who's in, not a playoff contention, but who's in a certain, like, what is the top 30? No, I think it'd be like top 25, top 24 owner points for next year. They're like, I don't even know how many races are left for the trucks this year, but we're getting down to August. They end their season in November. They don't really race a whole lot from here on out. They're starting their playoffs here, and so a lot of the back markers are either getting ready for next year or using this as a way to just get more laps on the year and things of that nature. I have the entry list here. I also looked up some guys that I took note of, like Mayer, Poole, Timmy Hill, Parker, Peters, Greenfield, and J.J. Yaley. I have this, and I'm also looking at my little thing that I write everything down in. That's why I'm not really moving this around. But anyway, the reason this is important is because everyone here legit has a sponsor. The only person that seems a bit sketchy is J.J. Yaley as a start and park, because he hasn't ran hardly. He didn't really run any laps at all for the Resumes Brothers Racing. Oops, wrong one. He really hasn't ran anything at all. Practice 1, he did 12 laps, which, you know, that's not really hard to do there. And then in practice 1, Practice 1, he did 12 laps. Practice 2, he ended up doing 12 again. And he's not really showing any speed. I'll look at final practice because that's more of a tell. I don't think he even did a 5-lap run. Yeah, Yaley didn't even do that. So he probably went out, did 2 laps, did something, went back in. I haven't been able to find anything on his Twitter, anything on the Resume race and all that. I know Siege is sponsored. They haven't talked about Yaley at all. I haven't seen anything about Yaley. His speed's not there. Yaley's about the only guy I'm not feeling comfortable with going and playing him right now. I just want to put that out there. He's the one guy that I'm probably not going to use. I would fade. It's all going to depend on qualifying. So let's get down to the guys that I'm looking at based on practice 1. I'm going to leave this up here just so in case you want to look at these sponsors, in case you want to see who's sponsored and things of that nature. I feel like this is way more important than the final practice speeds, because you can look this up on your own. You can see it. I already wrote everything down. So I'll leave it right there, and I'll just read off the sheet that I have. So Sheldon Creed, you know, he's looking like the dominant factor. He was the only one that ran he ran a 30-lap run in the first practice. That means they came off the trailer fast. He came off comfortable. They are here to win. I expect Creed to be one of the trucks contending for the pole, and if he gets the pole, I expect him to be one of the dominators. I think whoever wins the race is going to start in the top 5. I just think that's how it's going to be, whether it's a Joe Gibbs, whether it's a Kyle Busch Motorsports, Sheldon Creed, or Thorsport. I think it's going to be one of those guys. Sam Meyer in the 21 popped out to me. He's a 16-year-old kid racing for GMS. Also GMS. I mean, those are the 3 guys. Hell, even Thorsport isn't that good anymore, at least this year. But it's between GMS and Kyle Busch Motorsports and Sheldon Creed to lead. But Sam Meyer, he's 16 years old. He's popping out. I mean, he's 8,000 on DraftKings. I had to make sure on that, but he's right here at 8,000. I haven't found anything related to NASCAR on his history. I believe he's done some K&N races, some karting, things of that nature. GMS obviously feels comfortable putting him in the car. He's 16, so I mean, do with that. But I feel like he's going to end up qualifying in the top 10 because he's been pretty fast. Brennan Poole, sponsored by Bad Boy Motors. The reason I'm saying this is to tell you who they are in case you trust them, in case they're local, things of that nature. This is a local sponsor based out of Bristol. Usually whenever that happens, people usually end up racing better just because you have to put on a show for your sponsors. I mean, they're paying you. You want them to come back to you and all that type of stuff. Timmy Hill, they're going to run the entire race. The Hill Motorsports, him and his brother swap in and out of there a lot. Parker Kligerman is back in here with his 75 truck. He hasn't ran a whole lot this year, but I'm always a fan of Parker in the Xfinity and in the Truck Series. Not too much in the Cup, but I love him here. Not because he's an ex-Cup driver, but because he does show speed. I mean, he was one of the few guys in first practice to actually do the 15-lap run. I'm not really focusing on that because not a whole lot of people did it. He was the slowest one there, but he's still showing some speed. He's there. He's going to be a good quote-unquote punt. Timothy Peters in the 92 car. You know, if you've been around watching NASCAR for a while, you know who Timothy Peter is. If you don't, which I'm finding a lot of people don't, ever since fantasy trucks came on the scene, people have started watching the Truck Series and they don't know jack shit about anyone who used to race, who used to be here, things of that nature. Listen, Timothy Peters didn't win a whole lot, but he was damn good for, oh man, what was that fucking truck team he raced with? Something Bull. I don't know. I mean, he did that red and white. That team shut down. I apologize, man. They are making some god-awful racket outside. You can probably hear that. It's the fucking trash, the garbage truck, whatever it is out there. So I apologize for the next 15 seconds or whatever. Either way, Timothy Peters, he's going to be with Ricky Benton racing the Enterprises this year. They own the car that Kligerman is usually in. That 92 car. It's like black and white, and it's usually sponsored. They usually end up doing very well, but most people who are new to this either know Timothy Peters for his flip at Texas a couple years back or his Talladega win, you know, back when he was racing full time. Timothy, he just got fucked over. Timothy should legit be in the Truck Series today. But I like him. Craig Greenfield ran last time, or was in one of the better lineups, I think a couple weeks back in one of the shorter, in one of the actually here, I'll just look it up. Why am I even trying to argue this? He ran very well. He usually starts near the back. This one was an outlier because all they were doing is just practicing qualifying just to try and make the race here. This one, they didn't have to fight their way into the race, so they just got in 24th, finished 16th. That's what you want from these guys. I expect the same thing here. And JJ Yaley is slow. So those are the guys that I'm looking at right now as like punts or just people if you're not really familiar who they are. Angela, you know, tale of two stories, man. You know, I mean, Daytona, she was down a gear and she still finished 8th. Either way, let's get into the quote-unquote data. Let's see. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's watching, but it'll still be up there. I gotta give myself an upvote there. Final practice, I would look more towards 10-lap averages. I think that's where it's going to be. Sheldon Creed, 6th. He was, like I said, he was dominant in the first practice. I think he was second quickest all around. Let me look right fast. I'm not looking at overall. I'm looking at times. Let me see lap times here. Let's go 15. Sheldon Creed. Yeah, Sheldon Creed was basically on the top. I mean, Ross Chastain did a 5-lap, but I'm not too concerned about that. I just want to see where they go. Chastain, you know, Chastain, I don't know what they're doing to their cars or his trucks, but they're killing it, man. They're fucking killing it. You need a dominator here. I forgot how many laps it is. I think it's 200, something like that tonight. You still need a dominator here. There's so many laps led. Laps just click off like that. Each lap is like 14 seconds. You're going to need a dominator. Between the guys right here, like I said, I like Creed. I like Mayer. Chastain, just because they've been dominant this year. Harrison, they're showing good speed. They ran a lot of laps, but just based on how Kyle Busch is, how his motorsports has been doing this year, and they didn't make the playoffs, so they really have nothing to lose. Man, it's a difficult one right now for me to try and predict who's going to get the pole right now. So I'm not even going to focus on that. Dominators that I see happening, it's going to be Friesen. Like I said, Chastain for sure, Mayer, and Sheldon. Those are my 4 right now that I expect to get the pole and to dominate. Now, obviously, if they qualify shitty, if something happens, that changes it. People that I would look at to be low owned or qualify farther back. Ankrum is always high owned just because his price doesn't always match how he does. Ankrum will probably start, like 9th or something. I like Johnny Sauter. A lot of people have not been playing Johnny Sauter. Even when he starts between 12th and 9th, his pricing is just, his pricing is just a bit odd for most people. He's 10,600, and his where did he start last week? Yeah, he started 14th, finished 12th. Not what you want, but you're not going to get that ownership that he has, and he's having, he's 12th fastest in the 10 lap runs. I don't expect ownership to be on Sauter, and Sauter's running for a championship too. A lot of these guys, 8? I don't think you can make a lineup. I think they'd be too expensive, but I would try and put as many chase contenders in your lineup as possible, just because, they race for a championship. The way these stupid-ass playoff rounds work is you just have to dominate every single time. And so if you want, go big or boom or bust type of lineups, I would just throw as many playoff guys you can in there. Obviously a dominator, maybe 2 or 3 playoff contenders, and then depending on how much money you have, 2 of the punts that are going to be on the bottom. Like I said, everybody plans, pretty much from what I've seen, everybody plans on running as many laps as possible. I don't see a whole lot of people starting and parking at all. So I'm honestly not even concerned about that at all. Corey Roper, another interesting little guy here. I said it at Daytona, or I said it earlier in the year. He either does well or wrecks. He grew up racing modifieds on short tracks, so this should be good for him. But I've said that before, and he ends up wrecking people. We'll see how that goes. Lepton is in for DGR Crosley, but they're sponsored by their own company. I forgot who was in here last week, and the guy who got fucked at Pocono when Friesen got wrecked as well. He's not here. Lepton is here. I don't think Lepton's price is that bad. Actually, yeah, 65. That's not bad at all. I was gonna say this is where you would expect him to finish. And DGR Crosley has some really, really good cars, man. They are really, really good. Natalie Decker's an outlier, Say what you will about her. When you got Jennifer Jo Cobb beating you in fucking points, Natalie Decker's talentless. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I just don't like Natalie Decker at all. If she was a dude, she wouldn't have a ride next year. I'm just going to say that right there. Brennan Poole. I really, really like Brennan Poole because, yeah, sure, he's 16th final practice, 10 lap averages here. But Brennan has been finishing very well in such a hunk of dog shit truck. Where is he at? This is what you want to see. Granted, they're overqualifying a bit, but when you have some guy running an underfunded truck, easily having a top 10 car entering every week, these types of short tracks are what I'm looking for to play him. Usually this is how my little show goes. I got no one in here, no one asking anything, so we will just deal with no questions or anything of that nature. Let me make sure. Yeah, I got. I'm sure you guys can watch this for the rest of the day. I'll go over the guys that I like one last time based on lineups. Chastain to win based on how he's been dominant this year. Friesen, if he starts within the top 3, could easily dominate. Moffitt, I feel like if he started pole, he's going to get passed by some people. Sauter for a low-owned guy that people are going to play. Grant Enfinger, another low-owned. And Sauter, Enfinger, and Crafton low-owned just because they're in their little island by themselves. You're either going up here or down to 9. So ownership's going to be pretty poor on these guys unless they finish or unless they qualify like 18th back or something. Ben Rhodes, a bit inconsistent, but falls into that category as well. Ankrum's going to be fast, but he's going to probably overqualify. Harrison Burton, they got a fire under their ass. Him and Gilliland, Kyle Busch is pissed that they did not make the playoffs. Can't believe I still got to say that in racing, but they got nothing to lose. Sheldon Creed, I love Sheldon Creed here. I absolutely love him. He's going to wreck or win. Based on his last couple of races, this would probably be one that he wrecks on. But, if he's going to dominate, it's going to be at Bristol. Dimple, not interested. Austin Hill, probably going to start 7th, not interested. Sam Meyer, very interested based on people not knowing who he is. If he qualifies in the top 9, top 10, ownership's going to be low because they don't trust 16. Most people don't trust anyone if you don't have any history on here. Most people see that and they won't click you. Ryan Siege, sponsored, fully sponsored. I'm fine playing him if he starts anywhere, 15th back. Chandler Smith, same thing there. John Hunter Nemechek, it's got to be a no for me. Looking at John Hunter Nemechek, that's a tough one, man. I say no. I see him in final practice here. I've avoided talking about him. But he is in the Nemco sponsored 8 car. That's not bad at all. Let me see something right fast here. So this is how my brain works. I want to see why is he in this car? What are they doing? Are they trying to get into a certain point here? Are they trying to solidify themselves to make races? Where's the 8 car? Where's owner points at? Owner points. Let's see. They are 24th. Sorry, I'm killing you here. I don't even know how to ask this question. What drivers are locked on points in the NASCAR Truck Series? I think that I want to see what people are. I'd have to look. Oh, here we go. This might actually help me out. Which reducing the field is dumb. How many people get in on points? Let me see. Points. Oh, fuck you, Fox Sports. Points. Okay, what is this? Highest ranking. Top 30 cars. Wow, what is this? Let's see. How many people here? In a and a 5th. So it's 4. So top 20. Did I read that right? Top 26. Let's see. So you get whatever. Either way, so because of where they are in points right now. Either way, they're 24th in points right now. They're trying to beat. Basically, this is why JJ Yaley is running in the 34 car this weekend, because JJ Yaley and Joe Nemechek are battling for this. I think it's either 25th or 24th to try and be locked in here. Same with Jennifer Jo Cobb and DJR Crosley. This is a highly contested race in the points for next year's season. Like I said, why that's important, because if there's over 32 cars, you need to be here at the start of the season to automatically qualify your way into those types of races. So this is why it's important on an ownership standpoint of why Hunter Nemechek is probably there. Based on that alone, I mean, I can check and see. I'm gonna assume that's a for the sake of this video, I'm gonna assume that this is an actual company. I'll probably look it up after the video, but for the sake of this, I'm gonna assume they're actually sponsored. Because of that, I would expect Nemechek to run the whole race. He's showing good speed. How many laps did he do? That might actually help me out more. 50. Never mind. Yeah, he's running 56 laps. They're running the whole race. They're racing for points right now. Hunter Nemechek is definitely a guy I would go with. If he starts outside the 15, even greater. Austin Wayne Self, not really. I'd looking at Timothy Peters, Jesse Little, Kligerman, Huffman, Lupton, Poole. I'm not really into Anderson. Anderson's been overqualifying, not interested in him. Gustine, I like you in the ARCA series. You just haven't been viable on a fantasy perspective. Last week you were, but this year it's been up and down. I'd rather go with Greenfield. I'd rather go with Timmy Hill. Timmy Hill's stupid low here. They're overqualifying as well. I mean, they finish here, but they're going to run the whole race as well. They're really cheap. I got to see if Yaley is actually sponsored. But that's how it goes, guys. That's how I go through picking drivers, looking at punts. Right now, since before qualifying, I'm focusing more on checking to make sure people have sponsors, checking to see how fast they are in practice, checking to see things of that nature. So, guys, thank you for listening. I think we did, we did probably 20 minutes. What is this? No, 15 minutes. That's not too bad at all. We got all done in 15 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Xfinity video will be out later today. You guys have a fantastic evening. Best of luck on the Truck Series. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll see you later.